Hello everyone, Mimikins here. Today I'm going to be looking at the hunting horn, in particular Devil Joe's Deep Zero. The hunting horn is the least played weapon in Monster Hunter World. According to the first Y variant, only 1% of hunters use this weapon. It's a very underrated weapon. Capcom called it a support weapon, which I think has put a lot of people off. It does offer nice support to groups, but it can also be very offensive. Hunting horn, unlike a lot of weapons, plays differently depending on which one you use. Each horn gives different buffs that your whole party can benefit from. The hunting horn I picked is great for maximising damage. I'll tell you what the songs do. Self-improvement, all horns have this. First time increases your movement speed, double up with an encore to gain an attack boost and prevent attack deflection, which is basically a free mind's eye gel. I'm still lacking that gel by the way, it never seems to drop for me. Attack and defense up gives a 20% boost to raw attack and defense. Wind pressure negated is helpful against flying wyverns and elder dragons to avoid wind related knockbacks. It allows for new openings for the party to attack. Health boost large sounds like it would be a good skill, but in reality it's awful. Currently it does not stack with max potions, and using this as a replacement for a max potion is just yuck. The song could wear off suddenly and then you could be one-shotted due to bad timing. Capcom need to make this stack so more players use this buff. In this video I'm going to show two builds. One is a DPS build and the second is a support healing build. I've augmented my Deep Zero with affinity and health regen. Let's look at my DPS build first. Hunting horn can not only exhaust and knock out a monster like hammer, but it has a really long reach, so it's much easier to hit weak spots which are high up, like the head. You can actually use your performance and encores to deal good damage to the monsters. The most complex thing about hunting horn is remembering the song sequence. But in World, song melodies are displayed in the top right corner, making it much easier to learn and refer to if you forget. This was not the case in previous Monster Hunter games, and you would need to remember your song sequences. I opted for a high critical build so I could make use of Master's Touch, which really helps maintain the white sharpness meter. This build sits at 95% affinity on weak spots, which is very high for a Devil Joe weapon that naturally comes with minus 30%, but comes with huge raw. You don't need to rely on a booster effect for this either. Level 3 Handicraft gives the weapon a nice chunk of white sharpness, so those 5% of non-critted hits or missing weak spots won't hurt too much, and you'll likely only need to sharpen in between rooms. This is my support build. Of course it's going to do less damage because I've squeezed in a lot of support skills. It has 50% affinity on weak spots, so taking an affinity booster may be helpful in letting you deal some damage for those windows of opportunity where you're not needing to give constant support heals. This build can be useful for endgame level content where people are at high risk of fainting. This weapon is mostly used for buffing attack and defense, but this build could be used with other horns also, which offer different supporting songs. Most of the time I use the DPS build with song buffs, and it does do well, but there are a few missions like Tempered Elders or a Templed Devil Joe when I use an SOS and end up with people fainting and losing the run, which really sucks. Sometimes it's easier just losing a bit of damage and making sure everybody survives. Of course, sometimes you do get that random person who despite your very best effort seems to die anyway. Maybe he isn't using a max potion and Capcom made that health song just for him. But usually it prevents people from dying and allows them to go full throttle on DPS, which helps covers DPS loss on your part by supporting. You're probably familiar with the DPS skills, so I'll just go over the support skills. Wide range works with a variety of items. It also works with some of the Mushroom Mancer's effects. I've gone with level 1 just to be able to use the blue mushrooms, which is essentially another stack of potions. Toadstools can replace immunizers. Unfortunately they don't stack, but since mushrooms are easier to get, I would use them instead of immunizers. Free meal works with every consumable, which is really nice. It saves items and based on its 25% proc rate, effectively means you are going in with more consumables than you actually have. Speed eating also helps a lot to heal people up quickly. Here's comparison, side by side, showing you how effective it can be. Don't be tempted by Quick Sheath, as even level 3 is only fractions of a second faster. It was actually so bad I thought I'd messed up my recording, but on closer inspection it was 0.2 seconds faster. Too little gain for 3 slots in my opinion. Recovery up is fine if you want to use it for yourself, but it does not work for other people. They would need to equip the skill in order to benefit from it. This is generally what I take with me on my support runs. Sometimes you might want to add something in that's specific to a monster, for instance antidotes or herbal medicine. I hope you found this video useful and would like to try out a hunting horn. I want to see more hunting horn users in Monster Hunter World. Their buffs bring a lot of utility and damage to the group, whether by dealing it directly themselves or allowing the rest of the party to play highly aggressively. It's a good solo weapon, but it really shines in groups. Please support the channel by liking and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.